It's always a concern when we go through a long stretch of dry weather because all the stuff that leaks out of cars, whether it's transmission fluid or oil or gasoline, the rain falls and just activates all of that stuff and it becomes slicker than it usually would be. In the Sierra, they're going to get
that looks great.
They're going to get a snow, rain, snow sandwich. So the rain in the middle, kind of gross for skiers. We'll talk about that coming up in the Tahoe report. But let's talk about the big picture perspective here. I'm going to bring in our globe map so we can look at the atmospheric river and the scale of this event. We talk about these and we talk about the local impacts, but I want to show you exactly what we're looking at here with the plume of moisture that extends thousands of miles out into the Pacific. This subtropical moisture streaming directly towards the coast of California, and a lot of it is going to be aimed at us over the course of the next several days. This is going to be a double peaked atmospheric river. Basically, it means that this is going to be floating up and down the coast a little bit. So we're going to see two different ways of heaviest rainfall, one of which is going to be moving in within the next 24 hours or so. Let's bring in the local map and we'll return to our local impacts. And this is the current view on First Alert Doppler. Let me bring in some blank labels on the map here so you can keep your geographic bearings as we go through the next several hours, because we do want to show you how things are going to change as we go through the rest of tonight. Right now, there's a little break in the action right here in San Francisco, but there's more shower activity lining up off the coast, and it's going to become more widespread and even heavier as we head through the rest of tonight. So let's go from 6 o'clock this evening through 4 o'clock Saturday morning. And this is when we're still going to be seeing mostly light to moderate rain showers, some pockets of heavier rain, but our flooding potential overnight is largely going to remain limited. Again, the ground is thirsty because of the dry weather that we've had over the past several weeks, so it's going to absorb a lot of this. You see right here, 4 o'clock in the morning, the rain is quite widespread, and we're talking about widespread moderate rainfall at that point. As we wind the clock forward from 4 o'clock tomorrow morning to 2 o'clock in the afternoon, this is when the heaviest rain is going to fall. The moderate rain gives way to some pockets of heavier rain outlined in yellow, and that is when we'd be looking at the greatest potential for any even localized flooding, but it's not going to be an all-day threat. We start to taper things off by early afternoon, a trend that will continue into tomorrow evening. We'll go from midnight tomorrow night into Sunday. We're just going to skip ahead a little bit. We're going to be seeing those intermittent showers, but still it's going to be damp for the second half of the weekend. Hit or miss activity. The steadiest rain is going to be falling north of the Golden Gate on a Sunday. But there's that second peak of the atmospheric river that's going to be heading our way by Monday and Tuesday of next week. In the short term, we do have a flood watch that is in effect for the entire Bay Area. This is in effect already. It's going to remain in effect until 10 o'clock on Sunday evening. But within that time frame, there are specific areas that are of greater concern. There are specific times that are of greater concern. For a look at that, we'll look at the excessive rainfall outlook from the Weather Prediction Center, which is their way of categorizing the flood risk, even the localized flood risk. And today, well, the entire Bay Area basically is in their lowest category. The exception is around Livermore and San Jose, the rain shadowed spots. Marginal risk means it's not likely to happen, but we can't completely rule it out. Tomorrow, that changes. We're into the next category. It's called a slight risk, which sounds kind of reassuring. Oh, it's just a slight risk, but it's level 2 out of 4. So we're halfway up the chain already. And this means an elevated threat of at least localized flooding, flood prone locations. Flash flooding, unlikely even when the heaviest rain is falling. And then on Sunday, while the entire Bay Area remains under that flood watch, it's really the North Bay that we're going to have to watch for the second half of the weekend, as the steadiest rain is going to be falling onto already saturated ground. Again, we're talking about several days of rain because that next peak of the atmospheric river moves in Monday night into Tuesday. So these are the forecast rain amounts for the entire Bay Area as we head through the next 7 days. And we're talking about over 2 inches of rain in San Jose, 7.5 inches of additional rainfall. This is on top of what's already fallen around Ben Lomond in the Santa Cruz Mountains. Again, that atmospheric river just efficiently squeezing out moisture in the higher elevations. Most of us, we're looking at about 2.5 to 4.5 inches of total rain. 4.5 inches is the forecast for Half Moon Bay. Right at 4 inches for downtown San Francisco, on top of the quarter inch or so it's already added up. But for the North Bay, 5.5 to 6+ inches. And again, these are specific numbers that we're giving you, but there's always a range of possibilities as that atmospheric river kind of wobbles up and down the coast. There's the possibility the system could overachieve and squeeze out even more moisture. On the other side of that, there's also the possibility that it underachieves and manages to not produce what we're anticipating. Here's the 7-day forecast. We'll keep you updated on the specific numbers as we head through this long stretch of wet weather. So a wet day tomorrow, showers on Sunday, not a washout, but certainly not dry. And then the next peak of the atmospheric river arrives Monday and Tuesday. One dry day on Wednesday, and then more showers could be associated with a low-end atmospheric river. That one's separate. That arrives by Thursday and Friday. We got a lot going on as we head into early February.
All right, thanks, Paul.